Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Welcome to the Along Came a Writer Network. Opinions expressed in our shows do not necessarily reflect those of the network.
Welcome to the Along Came a Writer Talk Show. I'm your host, Linda Kozar, and I'm going to be interviewing historical romance author Annette O'Hare today. And I'm going to read a little something about her so you know who she is, because you will know who she is. She's an awesome writer. You're going to be reading her books. Annette O'Hare is an award-winning inspirational author living in Southeast Texas with her husband, Dan, of 34 years. The O'Hares enjoy saltwater fishing on the Gulf Coast and spending time with family. Annette's love for the history and heritage of her home state shines through in her writing. A member of American Christian Fiction Writers and ACFW Writers on the Storm chapter right here in the Woodlands, Texas, Annette's desire is to reveal God's love to her readers and hopefully give them a laugh or two. The O'Hares are the proud parents of a son who is a petroleum engineer and his lovely wife, an interior designer. Their daughter is a middle school math teacher, and their youngest son is a high school junior, well, he's a senior now, who wants to study music in college. Annette and Dan also love their two lovable rescue dogs, Max and Jay, and their grand dogs, Charlie and Tris, and the newest member of the O'Hare family, a Russian tortoise named Frankie. We're going to talk about Frankie later. So welcome to the show, Annette O'Hare.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. I wanted to tell people about your books. You've got two historical romance novels with Pelican Publishing, and you also have some stories in anthologies as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about those?
Well, that was my first publishing, was the little short stories I was able to get published through our writers group, and led to my first book contract through Pelican for Northern Light, which is a full-length historical romance set during the Civil War on the Bolivar Peninsula here in South Texas. And my second book is Redeeming Light, sort of a series there, but mainly the books are related by their location of the Bolivar Point Lighthouse. And Redeeming Light takes place in 1900 during the Great Storm that hit Galveston, that wiped out Galveston Island and over 6,000 people. It's told from the point of view of the Bolivar Peninsula, just across from Galveston.
And, you know, a lot of people aren't aware of that storm, but there was no warning back then. And
no, there really wasn't.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know it was coming. We take it for granted, don't we?
Yes, we know weeks in advance that these things are coming, but those poor people, and it's still to this day the deadliest natural disaster to ever hit the United States. And they think that it could be between 6,000 and 12,000 people were lost. They don't know the real numbers there.
And Galveston,
it led to building. I'm sorry. It led to building the seawall.
Yes, but Galveston used to be the Houston. Used to be a really big city, and Houston was way smaller. But because Galveston was so devastated, Houston grew. It's interesting how things happen. Yeah. So tell us, how did you choose this setting on the Bolivar Peninsula? Tell us about how you chose that. or what you like
Well,
about it?
I've always been enamored by the lighthouse there, and it does have some family history tied to it. Actually, the lighthouse went dark in the 30s, and I believe it was in the 50s. The lighthouse and the property went up for sale, and it was purchased for $5,500 by
Oh my
Boyd
gosh.
Enterprises. I know, and actually, my aunt Isla Boyd, it was her family that bought it, and in front of the
Wow.
in front of the lighthouse, there's two little houses, and one of them says Boyd House, and the other one says Maxwell House. Well, my grandmother is Rosa Maxwell McRae, so that's a little family history.
Did she invent a little coffee? Did she invent coffee?
I
A little
don't
coffee
think
company?
so. She's a good Texas lady.
Okay. Wow. So, but it's probably a rule that you have to drink Maxwell House coffee if you lived in that house. I mean, I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they were in your family, so you got to go and hang out in that.
I actually have not. It's distant family to me, and I've been on the property, but never got to go up in the lighthouse. But I know it's still in the family.
Well, lighthouses are I visited a whole bunch of them in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, and they're really kind of scary walking up those little tiny steps, those little tiny spiraling stairs.
I know.
They are,
imagine.
and I can imagine in a storm doing that. That would have been terrifying.
Yeah, well,
but
I like to include a lot of history in my books, and that was one of the things about Redeeming Light, my second book, is that over 125 people survived the Great Storm of 1900 on the steps of that lighthouse.
Wow.
That's
I
in the
mean, they're
book.
meant to withstand storms. Yes. Oh, if you want to read about it. That's awesome. Okay, so can I read the blurbs for both of these books?
Sure.
I think we have time. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to read Redeeming Light, because if they read Redeeming Light, they're going to want Northern Light too, definitely. So, Redeeming Light. When Sarah McKinney's father dies tragically, she takes over the cattle ranch on the Texas Gulf Coast. To save the breed stock and make a fresh start, Sarah is forced to lead a harrowing cattle drive to sell off the herd. Amid the turmoil, Sarah finds herself distracted by her uncle's young law apprentice, Frederick Cheshire. Frederick is drawn to the strong woman who stares adversity in the eye and wins. But if he is to court Sarah, Frederick must end a relationship with a girl from Beaumont, Texas. He sets off. When a great storm hits from the Gulf of Mexico, Frederick rushes back on an ill-fated train ride. Will he make it to the Boulevard Point Lighthouse where Sarah has taken refuge, or will he be claimed by the storm like thousands of others? How do you pronounce his name?
Cheshire.
Cheshire. Okay.
Cheshire.
I know it's like one
like
of those words you want to keep saying. Cheshire. I love it. Okay. You had me a huge storm.
Great summer read, right?
Yes. I mean, yes, because we're always sort of like thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, we're in hurricane season now. We've had quite a season, here in Texas. But okay, so did you first? You didn't first start off writing historical romance. So tell us where you started first, because that's my favorite. My favorite story.
No. Well, I think you may be talking about my Maxfield's Mysteries, which is a middle grade.
Yes.
But that's a series that I'm dying to get into print, and I'm hoping to do that maybe this coming year. But even before that, before I knew anything about writing, I wrote a contemporary romance about a fisherwoman that it was over 100,000 words, and I didn't know a thing about writing, so it may never see the light of day.
Well, I'm not one to say put that first novel in a drawer because there's always good stuff in there, and I think you can take it out and deconstruct it, and now that you know what you know, make a great story out of it.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
not?
I'd love to go back to it. Yeah. It's always good to know that you
Yeah.
have that back there.
Yeah, it's nice because people used to always say, "Oh yeah, just put that in a drawer and never think about it again." No, there's a
That
story
was
in
hard
there.
work.
Yeah, you just have to deconstruct it and put it back together with the knowledge you have now and the craft that you've developed over the years. So
Hmm.
awesome. So what genre would you not write in? Could you not see yourself writing in?
I know I would never write, what do they call it? Speculative fiction, sci-fi.
Okay, so that would be
I
out
don't,
there.
I don't know how they create whole worlds. I don't know. I need at least a world to work with.
I don't know. I think that's a challenge. I just, I
Yes,
think it's kind of fun.
it would be. Yeah,
But
I
what
can see
other
you doing it.
genre? Oh yeah. What other genre would you like? I mean, you've got middle grade and like YA maybe. What other genre would you like
Hmm.
to write in? I mean, you've got the mysteries. I mean, I think every story is a
Well,
mystery that just unfolds anyway. So
right. I've dabbled a little bit in some Southern Gothic,
yes,
but
yes.
I have a storyline, but I'm just not. I haven't been able to pull it completely together. But
Well,
something
all it is
that,
is crazy people and killy stuff.
yeah, yeah, and big scary houses.
Big scary houses, a lot of mystery and intrigue, and yeah, I mean the elements, right? We have it.
Yes.
So you have theater experience, which not everybody knows about because you're awesome. Do you ever use that to map out your scenes, or just to kind of do it in your head?
Some people have told me that reading my novels almost like watching a, a TV show about it. I don't know. I guess I kind
Well,
of
yeah, because
do
you
that
block
naturally
things
or
out.
something.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I can see that too because you block things out, and I think that's an advantage, because then you could make movies out of it, you know. Just saying.
That
Anybody
was
out there who's producing?
when I was in high school. I was in creative writing class, and that's where I wrote my first musical. It was very corny. It was pretty much about a guy I had a crush on. It had songs, and but I got an A for it, so
Hey, that's all that counts at the time.
that's right.
Well, so far, I know you've only had like 2 books, and it's not like real deep into this. But have you ever killed off a character because you were annoyed by them or just didn't want to write about them anymore?
Um, hmm. Actually, in that very first book I wrote, I named one of my characters after someone that I had known, and I killed her off. So I don't know what you want to do
Okay.
with that, but
That's the great
I
thing
killed
about
her off
being
in
a
my
writer.
novel.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I just wanted to know because I don't want to be the only one. um,
You're not alone.
well, what do you like most about writing romance? Like, are you a romantic at heart? I mean, are you? I just want to know. I mean, because
I
it takes that,
I
doesn't it?
really don't think that I am. It's kind of a struggle for me. I'm more of a history nerd. I love the history, and in order for people to learn the history, you have to put the romance in there to draw. But
Well, how do you write those scenes? Do you think of movies or TV shows, or like, do you ever think it's kind of like block out a scene and you think, oh, that's corny, that wouldn't happen, or hey, I'd like that to
um,
happen?
kind of put myself in their head and write what I think that I would like to happen.
Yeah.
If only my husband did that for me.
Yes, I hear you. I think most women can identify that way. So what, do you have like a favorite romance movie, or, or I mean, I don't think The Bachelorette or Bachelor is romantic at all. I don't watch it. But do you have any kind of TV show or movie that, is like,
Well, don't watch chick flicks.
Yeah.
But I've been watching that show This Is Us, and there's a lot of good romance. Boy,
Yeah.
that show's
Yeah.
a tearjerker. And then there's, Rick Grimes and The Walking Dead and his love affair with Michonne. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's about the height of it for me.
I know. That's all stuff, I mean, romance comes in many forms, I think.
That's right.
So what do you do? What do you do to research? Talk about your research process, for people out there who like to do historical research, or they're interested in this, in doing this type of writing.
Funny, I just taught a course on historical research this weekend.
Yes, and I, full disclosure, I was there, and it was really informative. So, tell us a little bit about that.
Thankful for you. Yeah, thankful for you to come listen to me drone on about research, which I love so much. But there's a lot of things you can do in collecting information for your novels, and a big part is reading books on your subject matter, even textbooks, but also reading in your own genre so that you can see what the other authors have done. And then I watch a lot of television shows on my subject matter and movies, and I've found a lot of websites that can give you the lists of movies. There's or even Goodreads, there's lists of books on there on subject matter, and IMDb is a great place to find movies. Or you can even go visit sites where your story is going to take place, and I've done a lot of that. But the bulk of my research comes from the internet. In the long run, it's so amazing that we have that tool now instead of having to slog to the library and wade through
If
books.
you have to travel places, I think you should go to Hawaii and and do your research for a romance there. I don't know. That's
Yes.
my thought.
Yes, I could do something on King Kamehameha.
Yes.
I did go to my family and I traveled to Niagara last summer, and I've had a lot of thoughts about writing about, those people that have gone down the falls in a barrel. There's got to be some romance
And
there.
survived. Yeah, there's a few people that actually survived without most of their bones broken. And so that would be an interesting one. So what advice would you give to aspiring authors, and also to others who find themselves, scrambling after contracts now when there are dwindling opportunities? What advice would you give?
Well, aspiring authors, I mean, the ones that already have manuscripts, probably the best thing to do is go to conference and meet up with these editors, and that's getting to be almost the only way to get your work in front of an editor without an agent, or you could get an agent. I don't have an agent at this time, but study
But you can
the
still
craft.
Get contracts.
Yes, and and even online. There are a lot of small house publishing houses that you can submit directly online. It's an avenue.
What about preparing their work? Because, like you and I, we both were in small writers groups to help develop our craft. I mean, I think that's very important. Because a lot of times you think, oh, I'm ready, and you are just so wet behind the ears. You don't know what you're doing. And you think your stuff is ready. Yeah, but it ain't right. When you think you're ripe, you're usually rotten, and that's the way I see it.
And it's bad to put your work out there before it's ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. You have to, and you might think it's ready, but when other people start critiquing it for you and they point out stuff, some people take it wrong. They don't have a thick hide. They don't want to receive it, but honestly, you really need that. You need that critical eye to look at your work and say, this needs improvement, So we did that before we, got our stuff out there.
Definitely. And I read an article recently by Linda Yezik, talking. She's a great editor, I understand. And she said, make sure that you at least hire someone to do a content edit for you, at the very least. So,
yeah,
paid
important.
critique is important.
Yes,
or a writer's group. Yeah, critique.
Okay, I saved some time to do a fun lightning round, and then at the end we're going to talk about Frankie, your tortoise. But we're going to do this fun little lightning round.
You're right.
Okay, number one. In romance novels, the bad guy often turns out to be the good guy. True or false?
True.
I'd say that's true too. I'd say that's a classic. I mean,
a
guy that the heroine doesn't like. You can if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah. In Redeeming Light, although she's the heroine is very enamored with this man, they butt heads very bad before they get together.
Mm-hmm. I find that's usually the case. The one she hates, she can't stand him, or vice versa.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. NASCAR romance novels. Is this a real romance subgenre? True or false?
Got to be true. Anything
yes,
can happen.
You're right.
I know.
Ricky
I know
Bobby romances. Ricky Bobby romances exist. They exist.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I can think of people off the top of my head that would read that right now.
Okay, now I want you to pick one. Yes, I want you to pick one as most romantic. A moonlit walk on the beach with your man. B, slow dancing together at home to your favorite music. Or C, watching your husband vacuum the carpet.
I would have to say A, because me and my husband, we're beach people, and that's just kind of our thing. So.
Yeah, and moonlit walk on the beach. Yes.
Yeah. And we have a Roomba, so I don't need him to vacuum anything.
Your butler's named Roomba.
Yes, we call him Jeeves, actually.
Okay, now this one's going to be fun. I'm going to give you 5 pickup lines, and you tell me which one is the funniest. Okay. Number 1, okay. Are you a parking ticket? Because you got fine written all over you. Number 2, are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see. Number 3, I'm not a photographer, but I can picture me and you together. Number 4, you remind me of a magnet because you sure are attracting me over here. And number 5, if you were a fruit, you'd be a pineapple. Okay, which one was your favorite?
Oh, that's funny. I kind of like the first one with the fine.
The parking ticket. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I kind of like the last one about the pineapple. I don't know why. Okay, and here are some, we won't call these pickup lines because these are break the ice lines from Christian men seeking wives, you know. So you pick your favorite. There are 4 of these.
That's
Number
okay.
1, are you religious? Because you're the answer to all my prayers. Number 2, I'd say God bless you, but it looks like he already did. Number 3, did it hurt when you fell out of heaven? And number 4, wouldn't we look cute on a wedding cake together? Okay, which one's your fave?
Oh, I've heard that one when you fell out of heaven. We heard that one.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah, that would be my favorite.
Okay. Okay, now we have a little bit of time to talk about Frankie. But first I'm going to say people can find your books like everywhere where fine books are sold, right? I mean, they can go to
Amazon,
bookstores, online,
Noble. Yeah. Mhm.
Kobo,
Yeah.
all those places. Okay. And of course the Pelican site. They can check out your books there on the Pelican website.
And they sometimes run specials. So.
Yes, and of course they can check out your stuff on social media, you know, because you are everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, you know, Pinterest, Instagram. You're everywhere. Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to finish by
talking.
Look her up. Okay, so we are going to talk about Frankie, your tortoise, and tell us the difference between a turtle and a tortoise. We have 4 minutes left.
Okay, well, let me talk real fast now. Frankie
Not like a turtle.
is a Russian. Frankie is a Russian tortoise, and you can find.
Does he have like really thick eyebrows or something, or like what? How do you know?
Well, actually, you can tell the sex of a turtle by looking at their tail. Males curve to the side, and females are short and stumpy. That's with tortoises, anyway.
Okay. And the Russian part, maybe he drinks a little vodka. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's into the Stolichnaya, and put it in his bowl. Yeah, that's the funny part because they're not from Russia. They're very arid, temperate creatures. So he works out very good here in South Texas. But turtles, you know, are water animals, and tortoises are land animals. That's the big difference.
Okay. And I've seen Frankie. Yeah. If you look at Instagram, he has his own page.
Yep. Frankie,
he's very
the Russian
cute.
tortoise. And
yes,
he's also a tortoise in the O'Hare.
Now, I rescued a tortoise or a turtle from the middle, and I picked him up from the rear because I didn't know if it was the bitey kind. But should people do that? Should people do that? It can be dangerous.
Well, I've read a lot about tortoises now that I've owned one, and they say do not rescue turtles and keep them for yourself. Rescue them and relocate them.
That's what I did. I took him.
Yeah. Most of the tortoises that you can buy in the store, they're tank raised, so they're used to being enclosed. Oh, yeah.
So that's good. Okay. Well, you know, we're just about out of time, and I've had such fun talking.
This has been wonderful. Thank you for having me. Blessings to you, and buy my book. You're going to like them.
Yes. Blessings to your writing, and continue writing these romance novels because they're awesome. I have mine I bought on Saturday ready to read. So guys, go out there and check out Redeeming Light and Northern Light, and check out everything by Annette O'Hare. Sign up for her newsletter.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks so much. Thanks so much for being on the show, and come back again and we'll chat it up.
Thank you for having me, Linda.
Thanks for tuning in to the Long Time a Writer Talk Show.